Hello everyone, welcome back to the AI Academy once again. Today we will continue course on business analytics for management decision. In this lecture we will discuss on knowing the steps of problem solving and decision making, understanding to interpret results and making decision and many more. So far we have learned about what are business analytics, its importance, its evolution, and history, how it is classified and structured. We have also learned about data and decision making. Slowly going into the deep, we will learn some more interesting topics. Let us start today's short and interesting lecture with problem solving and decision making. Problem solving refers to the process of finding solutions to difficult or complex issues. It is the act of defining a problem, analyzing it, identifying possible solutions, evaluating those solutions, and then implementing the best course of action. Effective problem solving requires a combination of analytical and creative thinking skills, as well as the ability to approach problems from different perspectives. It is an essential skill in various aspects of life, including personal decision-making, academic pursuits, professional work, and organizational management. They are important skills we use to solve problems and make choices every day. They are like tools we use to figure out what to do when we face a challenge or need to make a decision. There are 6 steps involved in the problem-solving process as shown in the diagram. They are: recognizing the problem. Next is defining the problem. Structuring the problem. Then comes analyzing the problem. Interpreting results and making a decision, and finally, implementing the solution. Let's discuss one by one all the steps involved. First we have recognizing the problem, which is the crucial step in the problem-solving process. It involves identifying that there is a gap between the current situation and the desired or expected situation. This gap represents the problem that needs to be addressed. Problems exist when there is a discrepancy between what is happening and what we think should be happening. This discrepancy can manifest in various ways, such as performance gaps that happened and the actual performance or results fall short of the expected or desired performance. For example, if a company's sales figures are lower than the projected targets, it indicates a performance gap. Next is deviation from standards, occurring when the current situation deviates from established standards, guidelines, or best practices. For instance, if a manufacturing process produces products with a higher defect rate than the acceptable industry standard, it signifies a problem. Deviations from expectations means when the actual outcome differs from what was anticipated or expected. For example, if a new marketing campaign fails to attract the expected number of customers, it represents a deviation from expectations. Inefficiencies occurs when processes, systems, or operations are not running as efficiently as they should be, leading to wastage of resources, time, or money. For instance, if a company's inventory management system is causing excess stock or stock-outs, it indicates an inefficiency problem. Let us discuss with a specific example in which costs are too high compared with competitors. This situation represents a problem because it deviates from the desired or expected state, where a company's costs should be competitive or at least within an acceptable range compared to its competitors. Recognizing such gaps or discrepancies is crucial because they signal the existence of a problem that needs to be addressed. If problems go unnoticed or unaddressed, they can lead to further complications, inefficiencies, or missed opportunities. Once a problem is recognized, the next steps in the problem-solving process involve defining the problem clearly, gathering relevant information, analyzing the root causes, and exploring potential solutions to bridge the gap between the current and desired states. Defining the problem is also one of the important steps in the problem-solving process, but it is not always a straightforward task. Clearly, it is not a minor task. It requires careful consideration and analysis to ensure that the problem is accurately framed and understood. The complexity of defining the problem increases when certain factors come into play, like when there is large number of courses of action, then there are numerous possible ways to problem precisely. With more options available, it is harder to narrow down the focus and identify the core issue. Several competing objectives. Sometimes, problems involve multiple objectives that may conflict with each other. For example, a company might want to reduce costs while also improving product quality and customer satisfaction. Defining the problem becomes more complex when these objectives compete or clash. External groups are affected. When a problem affects external stakeholders, such as customers, suppliers, or the community, it becomes more challenging to define the problem in a way that considers all their perspectives and interests. These external groups may have different viewpoints or priorities, which need to be taken into account. Problem owner and problem solver is not the same person. If the person experiencing the problem that is problem owner, which is different from the person tasked with solving it that is problem solver, there can be a communication gap or misalignment in understanding the problem. The problem solver may not fully grasp the nuances or context of the problem, making it more difficult to define accurately. Time constraints exist. In some situations, there may be time pressure or deadlines to solve the problem. When time is limited, there is a risk of rushing through the problem definition phase, which can lead to an incomplete or inaccurate understanding of the problem. To mitigate these complexities, it's essential to gather relevant information from various sources, engage with stakeholders, and thoroughly analyze the problem from multiple perspectives. Techniques like root cause analysis, problem framing, and breaking down the problem into smaller components can help in clearly defining the problem. Clearly, it is crucial because it lays the foundation for the subsequent steps in the problem-solving process. If the problem is not accurately defined, the analysis and proposed solutions may be misguided or ineffective, ultimately failing to address the true underlying issue. Structuring the problem is the third step in the problem-solving process, and it involves organizing and framing the problem in a way that makes it easier to analyze and solve. Stating goals and objectives. At this stage, it is important to clearly define the desired outcome or the end goal that we want to achieve by solving the problem. This could be a specific target, such as reducing costs by a certain percentage, improving customer satisfaction rates, or increasing efficiency in a particular process. Stating clear goals and objectives helps ensure that the problem-solving efforts are focused and aligned with the desired outcome. Next is characterizing the possible decisions in which once the goals and objectives are established, the next step is to identify the possible decisions or courses of action that could be taken to solve the problem. This involves exploring different alternatives or strategies that could potentially address the issue at hand. It is important to consider a wide range of options and not limit the possibilities prematurely. Identifying any constraints or restrictions in real-world problems that needs to be taken into account. These could be limitations related to budget, resources, time, regulations, or any other factors that may impact the problem-solving process or the implementation of the solution. By identifying these constraints early on, we can better evaluate the feasibility and viability of the potential decisions or solutions. It involves organizing and presenting the information in a systematic way, such as using visual aids like diagrams, flowcharts, or decision trees. This structured approach helps break down the problem into manageable components, making it easier to analyze and understand the relationships between different factors. Additionally, during this step, it's often helpful to involve relevant stakeholders, subject matter experts, or those who have experience with similar problems. Their input and perspectives can provide valuable insights and help ensure that all important aspects of the problem are considered. By thoroughly structuring the problem, we create a solid foundation for the next step, which is analyzing the problem in depth. A well-structured problem allows for more effective analysis, better decision-making, and ultimately, a higher chance of finding an optimal solution that aligns with the stated goals and objectives while adhering to any identified constraints or restrictions. Analyzing the problem is again a crucial step in the problem-solving process, and it involves the systematic examination and evaluation of the problem using appropriate techniques and methods. Here is the detailed explanation of this step. In identifying and applying appropriate, business analytics encompasses a wide range of techniques and tools that can be used to analyze and gain insights from data. In the context of problem solving, it is essential to identify the most suitable analytical techniques based on the nature of the problem and the available data. Some commonly used business analytics techniques includes descriptive analytics techniques like data visualization, reporting, and data mining to summarize and describe historical data. In predictive analytics, statistical and machine learning models are used to predict future outcomes or behaviors based on historical data. In prescriptive analytics, optimization techniques, simulations, and decision models are used to recommend the best course of action. Diagnostic analytics techniques like root cause analysis, regression analysis, and correlation analysis to identify the underlying causes of a problem. The selection of the appropriate techniques depends on factors such as the type of problem, the availability and quality of data, the desired outcome, and the expertise of the problem-solving team. Typically involves experimentation, statistical analysis, or a solution process. Analyzing the problem often involves one or more of the following approaches. Experimentation. In some cases, conducting experiments or pilot tests can provide valuable insights into the problem. This could involve testing different solutions, modifying variables, or trying out different scenarios in a controlled environment to observe the results. In statistical analysis, many business analytics techniques rely on statistical methods to analyze data, identify patterns, and draw inferences. This could include techniques like regression analysis, hypothesis testing, correlation analysis, or time series analysis, depending on the nature of the problem and the available data. In solution process. In certain situations, the analysis may involve following a structured solution process or methodology. This could include techniques like decision trees, optimization models, simulations, or operations research methods, which provide a systematic approach to analyze the problem and evaluate potential solutions. Regardless of the specific approach, the analysis phase typically involves gathering and pre-processing relevant data from various sources, exploring and visualizing the data to identify patterns, trends, or outliers, applying appropriate analytical techniques to gain insights and uncover relationships or dependencies, validating the results and ensuring the robustness of the analysis, interpreting the findings and drawing conclusions or recommendations. It is important to note that the analysis phase may be iterative, where initial findings may lead to further data collection, refinement of analytical techniques, or adjustments to the problem framing. By thoroughly analyzing the problem using appropriate business analytics techniques, experimentation, and statistical analysis, organizations can gain a deeper understanding of the underlying factors, identify root causes, and develop data-driven solutions that effectively address the problem at hand. Now let us discuss about interpreting results and making a decision. After analyzing the problem using various techniques like data analysis, experiments, or models, managers need to interpret what the results mean. These are the steps involved, which includes looking at the findings carefully is the first step. Managers review all the information and insights gathered from the analysis phase. This data could be in the form of numbers, graphs, patterns, or trends. Using personal judgment, in which the analysis provides objective data, managers also use their own experience and subjective opinions to make sense of the results. Their judgment is valuable in areas the analysis may not fully cover. Next is understanding limitations. No analysis is perfect. They recognize that the techniques used have certain restrictions or assumptions. Knowing these limitations prevents over-reliance on the results alone. Combining analysis with judgment means with a clear understanding of the analysis findings, assumptions, and their own expertise, they can make an informed decision on the best path forward to solve the problem at hand. The decision utilizes all the available information, hard data from analysis, understanding of limitations, and applying personal judgment and experience. This comprehensive approach increases the likelihood of an effective solution. Making the final decision is the crucial bridge between analysis and implementation to resolve the problem appropriately. Managers carefully deliberate over options before choosing the most viable way forward. Let us conclude today's lecture by discussing on implementing the solution, which is the most important topic. After analyzing the problem and making a decision on the best solution, the next step is to put that solution into action in the real world. This is called implementing the solution. Translating the solution to reality, the analysis and decision may be based on models, data, or theories. But now it needs to be applied to the actual situation or problem the organization is facing. This translation from models to the real environment is crucial. Providing training and resources. For the chosen solution to work effectively, the people involved need to understand it fully. The organization provides adequate training to employees on what the solution is and how to execute it properly. Resources like budgets, materials, equipment that are required to implement the solution must also be made available. Without the right resources, even a great solution can fail. Next is making it work in the organization, in which implementing a new solution sometimes requires changes in processes, policies, systems within the organization. These changes have to be managed carefully. There may be resistance from people used to the old way of doing things. The implementation has to be a smooth transition where everyone understands the value of the new solution. In constant monitoring and adjustments. As the solution gets implemented, it is important to continually monitor how well it is working. If issues arise, adjustments may need to be made to improve the effectiveness of the solution. Overall, successfully implementing the solution means taking it from concept to reality in a systematic way by providing what is needed for it to work as intended within the organization. Analytics in practice. When facing a problem, it is important to first ask some key questions before jumping into using analytics. Will analytics really solve this problem? Analytics is powerful, but it may not be the right tool for every situation. Is there an existing solution they can use? Sometimes a good solution already exists, and recreating it with analytics is unnecessary. Do we truly need a complex decision model? Simple analysis may suffice rather than building an elaborate model. After analyzing the entire situation, we can decide whether we need to use analytics or not. Sometimes it is not necessary to use it. And if we use analytics, which model we should use, or simply analysis will solve our problem? So detailed study should be done before proceeding further. Alright, let's call it a day for this lecture. In summary, this lecture covered the following topics, such as the steps of problem solving and decision making, understanding to interpret results and making decision. We hope you liked this lecture. If you did, please give it thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot and motivates us to create more educational content on business analytics for management decision-making. In the next lecture we will discuss on understanding of data, knowing Microsoft Excel basics, knowing spreadsheet operations, Excel demos. Get ready for the next lecture on business analytics for management decision-making. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.